Hi, guys. Welcome to Tuesday Tips with Tina. Thank you for tuning in. So, last week we spoke, or I spoke, about the three layers of behavior change. And today I'd like to explain a little bit about habits, why we have them, how they can either help or hurt us, and how they are being formed. Because once we understand that, then we can change it. So, just to recap for last week, real quick. The three layers of behavior change. Layer one was changing your outcome, meaning you have a set goal in mind and you are going to change it. So you're losing 5 pounds, or you're going to stop drinking for 30 days, or you're going to stop mindless TV watching. So that is all you going after a certain outcome, so to speak. The second layer is changing the process. So it helps you with getting that outcome. So, for example, you're going to the gym now 5 times a week so you can get to your goal of losing weight, or you can throw out the remote control so you don't watch TV any longer, or you're getting rid of all the alcohol because you like to stop drinking for that month, so you like nothing in the house that triggers it. So again, both of the layers are necessary, but they're more surface driven. And then the third layer is the one that is the change of your identity. And what I mean with that is that you're changing your belief system. We all have beliefs around certain things, and those beliefs are, being formed when we're little, or all kinds of information that comes at us from teachers, parents, friends, marketing. With all that, we start forming beliefs. I have one example: alcohol, of course, because that's what I dealt with. Is you see all those billboards, you create fit people having a beer, or vacations, parties, everybody's having fun and a blast and cheering each other on, and we subconsciously form this belief that alcohol is just amazing and it's good for us, and we needed to have fun and we needed to look good and to fit in with everybody else. And yeah, and so with that, this becomes a little bit of our identity because we start believing it. So today I want to talk about habits, and why they're being formed and how they can help us or hurt us. But when it comes to belief and why it's so important is because it's so hard to change those habits if you didn't change your belief system. It's almost like, the definition of insanity. You're doing something over and over and over again, but expecting a different result. So it's, you change your habits if you never change your belief that led you to your past behavior. It's kind of the same thing. So what is a habit? Habit, and I write this down because sometimes with English and German, it's hard for me to remember all of this. Habits are mental shortcuts learned from experiences. Habits do not restrict freedom, they create it. So habits are super helpful. We have as you know, a conscious and a subconscious mind. The conscious mind can really only do certain things, really focus on one thing at a time. And we are bombarded with thousands pieces and bits of information every day. So our mind, our brain is designed to examine all that stuff and then help us identify what we do all the time and repetitively. And then when we do that, it programs it into our subconscious mind. So an example of this is you brush your teeth every day, you go a certain way to work every day, you put your shoes on, you eat a certain way, you wake up, you get out of bed, you go to the restroom. All that stuff is automatic. You don't think about it. You don't decide or stand in front of the coffee machine thinking, is it good for me? Should I have it? Do I not have it? Unless you're trying to stop drinking coffee. But in the end, usually you don't. So whatever you do over time, repetitively, over and over and over, gets programmed into your subconscious mind, and then it becomes second nature. It becomes so easy that you don't think about it. And with that, we form habits, and we can form good habits, which, then it's really helpful to have that programmed, or we form bad habits, and those habits are not so good to be programmed. For example, you come home, you're stressed, you sit down, you drink a bottle of wine, or you go to the cabinet, grab a bag of chips and turn the TV on, and then you just sit there, eat your chips every day. Those are the things that hurt us in the long run. And eventually those habits become habits that we do not like to support any longer. But if we don't understand how they're being formed and why we do the things we do, it's really hard to change them. So I'm trying to shed a little bit more light on how habits are being formed. And there is four, oh, where are they? Oh no, I don't know. I love when this happens, but it doesn't matter because I remember. So there's four things that need to happen to form a habit. So the first thing is a cue. So let's say you have a baby at home that cries. That's a cue. The cue usually initiates a craving. So baby crying, you're like, oh, I need something to relieve this. It's stressing me out. And then the action is I'm going to go to the cabinet and open it and get a glass of wine. So the action is a habit that you're doing. And then comes the reward. For when it comes to drinking, for example, you get that instant like, you could just relax for a second, right? So you get this instant feeling of relaxation and your brain saves that. It's like a sponge. It's like, okay, stress, you doing these things, instant reward, relaxation, you feel better. So let's, put that into her or your subconscious programming. If you do this a lot, like over and over and over time, it becomes automatic. It's second nature. You don't have to even think about it, and you won't, because most of us are not even aware that we're doing it. It's just automatic. And so when it comes to changing this, the cue and the trigger is usually the problem. And again, it can be anything. We like texting and driving. You're driving your car, you hear your phone ringing, which is the cue. Your craving is, oh, I want to grab this phone and think and look what it is. So the action is you're going to grab that phone and you're looking at it, sometimes not even aware that you're in the middle of the road. And then the reward is that the relief that now what's going on. You helped your craving or ease that craving with the reward. So in order to change that, the problem again is cueing craving, and the solution is the action and the reward. And what we need to do is, you don't need to do anything, but if you like to change your habits into habits that help you grow and help you become the best version of yourself, is that pause between the problem and the solution, and then look at a different action. So let's say, just to come back to the example of drinking, your baby cries is the cue. The craving is you like to have a glass of wine. The action is pouring yourself a glass of wine, and then the reward is the relaxation. So let's turn this around, and then your baby is crying. Your craving is the glass of wine. Now you pause because you like to change the habit. You like to do something different because you know that drinking wine over time just didn't make you feel good any longer, or eating too much food, is packing on weights and you just don't feel good about yourself. So before you act with what you have always done, you pause, you step back for a second, and then you create a new action, meaning you go for a walk, or you sit in your closet and meditate for 5 minutes, or you go outside and talk to a friend, or you go to the gym. And then the reward is that you feel good. You feel good because you relieved that craving, but you relieved it in a way that is healthier for you. So in the end, it's almost like a double reward, because you're also then proud of yourself that you found a different way of relieving the original craving. And when you do that, the new loop over time, again and again and again and again, it creates a new habit, and then that becomes second nature. So it's really simple, but not so simple, because we are creatures of habit. So sometimes, or most of the times, we just go back to what's comfortable because it's easier, because changing it to something new takes a little bit of work. It takes work in the beginning. It takes, becoming aware, staying aware, and not automatically acting out, stopping you. And sometimes it's not fun to do that, because sometimes it's easier to just do what you've always done. However, if you like to change your result, you have to do, or it's only coming by you doing something different than what you have always done. I hope that makes sense. I don't like to keep you here too long. It's probably already over the 6-minute mark, but thank you for listening. Next week, I'll go into that a little bit deeper and explain how we can make that change a little bit easier. I give you some tools and some tips. If you have questions in the meantime, or if you say, wow, that was a lot and I don't really understand, I want to know a little bit more about that, then please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me on my website, which I will be posting here. It's all messed up right now, but it's okay. Oh, real quick for you, so you can write it down in case you're interested. I found it. So here are the 4 steps of habit formation: cue, cravings, response, reward. But I think I explained it, but just in case, I found my slide, so I wanted to put it up. But since we're at the end of this, here my website, reach out to me if you have any questions. You can also message me here or through Facebook. Thank you so much, and I see you guys next Tuesday. Okay, bye.